As soon as you heard the story, people with common sense were going, oh, come on. Because if you travel a lot, especially, you know, sometimes you're basically comatose. You're so tired, you're going to sleep on the plane. It takes a while for the plane to take off. You're waiting on the runway.
Even if you were out the night before you go to...
Not to mention if you're coming straight from the club, right? But like so
why is that a problem?
It shouldn't be a problem.
No,
but you hear her say it in the
free
video.
Country, you go wherever you want.
He was at the club.
Right, so now you're on the plane and you fall asleep. And sometimes the airline attendant has to come over and tell you to put on your seatbelt, and sometimes it's hard to wake you up. I've been shaken awake,
or
right?
Not
like,
that one, Max. Excuse me, sir. We're gonna need you to just your chair is
your
slightly
chair's
reclined. We're gonna need you to
your chair's 1 inch, and they have to move it up.
Yeah, as much as we fly, we all know it's simple and easy. You move the chair up, or they tell you. You groggy, you fall back down, they come back over, they say, hey, can you do this, can you do that? They stand and hover over you for a couple seconds, and then either you do it or they keep pestering you and bothering you, and it depends on who you get. Sometimes you get people that just have a bad day at work.
Yeah.
And they, no matter what you, hey, don't talk to me that. It's like, well,
not even a bad person, just a bad day at work. They didn't sleep a lot either.
Or they do it. And then you do it, and then as soon as they leave, you recline the chair back.
Especially, by the way, especially if you get on the plane and you got your little plane outfit. Sometimes
I got a plane outfit.
Yeah, right. Like, in other words, you got some sweatpants that you put on, or
100%.
or
my
some
hoodie,
shorts or something that you get comfy.
My hoodie, my dark glasses, my hat, and I pull him down where you only really gonna see this.
So the footage that has now been released is of Odell, and if you're watching on ESPNU, you can see it, but you can't hear it on the radio right now. But I've seen it online and heard the audio. The footage starts as an officer boards the plane and asks to speak with Odell. It then showed footage of a flight attendant saying that Odell refused to put his seatbelt on. Officers repeatedly tell Odell it was not their decision, but that he'd have to get off the plane. In fact, what the officer said was he seems to be fine.
Yeah, they actually go back and have a conversation with the flight attendants and say, we see no problem here. He's okay. He just looks tired to me.
She claims he didn't have his pants on, that he wouldn't do it, but really, and listen, I don't know, I wasn't there, but now that having seen, look, in the service industry, guys, you will find a lot of what is called passive-aggressive behavior.
Yes.
In other words, they're fulfilling the obligation technically, but doing everything in their power to thwart you, right? To make sure you don't get. So, for example, passive-aggressive behavior, guys, I've been on a plane and I saw an attendant, an airline attendant, tell who asked, like, oh, what do you have to drink? And she said, we have Coca-Cola products. As though this person would know the entire menu of Coca-Cola. This is before they had the little thing in the seat. Like, she's being passive-aggressive, right? It seemed to me that Odell may have run into a passive-aggressive airline attendant, but I can't say for sure I wasn't there. Because I didn't see any reason to remove him from what I saw from that plane.
Kellerman, I wasn't there. So I don't know what transpired from the beginning and to the end when he got off the plane. But looking at the video and hearing the people, the flight attendants and the other guy, man, let me tell you something, man. I done been in that situation as a black man, okay? And people do get aggressive, passively aggressive. The moment that you try to explain something to them, they don't want to hear it. You know, they make up stuff and stretch the truth. She's saying OBJ didn't have his pants on. So the first thing that you hear is that he didn't have his pants on. You think, well, he's down to his drawers. Oh, God, he's got the... Okay, well, we both know that wasn't the case because the dude on the video said, man, the guy got his pants on. The police officer says he got his pants on. What are you talking about? Did he have on sweats and shorts underneath, which most likely from my investigating, that's what happened. And he said, I'm hot, so I'm going to take my sweats off with my shorts underneath. But she said he didn't have on no pants.
Maybe he had a sweatshirt that covered it and she couldn't see it.
I'm just so happy that the video actually is not out, because what has happened with this story is when there's no video, it becomes hearsay. Yeah. And a lot of the stories that media was reacting to were reactions of other passengers on the plane who were mad at him for having everybody removed.
Oh, okay,
and that became the story.
Let's back
Instead of
up.
now
Jay's
seeing this, and you're like, well, wait a second.
But go over that
they
detail.
had no
Jay.
context to even understand how I even got to that point.
Jay, go over that detail. That's another reason that was. It's not just that Odell was removed. Once they removed Odell, I guess protocol is everyone has to get off the plane.
Yes.
And I can tell you this: if I'm on that plane and someone, because of someone else, whether they're right or wrong, I got to get off the plane, I'm mad. I don't know what happened. I'm like, dude, come on, you're making me get off this plane right now.
And then social media reacts as the fans or the passengers from their perspective, not seeing it from actually his perspective.
Yep. Yeah, once they have to remove somebody, everybody got to get off. If you ever get delayed on a plane, Jay, if you ever notice, they never, like you sit on the runway.
Yep.
Once they go back to the gate, they have to open up the door.
Deboard everybody.
And everybody got to get off the plane, and it just becomes a whole thing. So the passengers was mad about it, but then it turned into some comedy hour because OBJ let them know. He told one dude, he called him some words, and he told him, enjoy that cheese board.
Well, like, and then people, I feel
well,
like
what he said was
on social media. We don't have to recite exactly what he
why
said.
not?
But
it was funny.
Well, you can do it if you want to, man. I just
what he
it was
said
funny. It was funny to me.
This guy is mad, and by the way, I'd be mad too. Although I might be mad at the airline more than Odell, but he was mad at Odell.
See, I wouldn't be mad at Odell because I would understand the magnitude of the situation.
But I'm just saying, you're going to be mad at somebody, either the passenger or the airline or both, if you have to get up and inconvenience yourself. And he looks at Odell, and he's talking all kinds of crazy, and Odell goes, look, I'm flying private back, okay? I'm 20 minutes. I'm going to be flying. Enjoy your cheese board. Right, like so, like he's flaunting. He's flaunting.
But he's not really flaunting though, because people are reacting.
No,
now.
he is flaunting. He's just coming back at him.
People are reacting, right? They're like, oh, look at this guy, like the attitude. He's rich. He has money. I'm like, but so okay. So somebody says something to me, and I can't react to them, but now it's on me because of how I reacted.
Well, let me ask you a few questions about that. Are you young?
What do you mean, am I young?
Are you a young black athlete? Because then the answer is no. People have a certain reaction, right? Like what Key said is true.
Yes.
Yeah,
there are certain preconceived notions about young entitled athlete that people should examine about themselves.
Man, I done had to check people on planes so many times I had to tell a dude one time, you're not gonna talk to me that way because I'm not on this flight with miles. Mine is fully paid for. You have to every now and then. You got to push back on people, because they will try to take advantage.
It just seems to me an absurd way to go about business if you're the airline, removing everyone because a guy had a hard time waking up. Even the cop was like, he's seen
basketball would be like a dream job for me. And Stam said, why are you campaigning for somebody's job? Have some integrity. Like, okay.
Who said that?
Stan Van Gundy. So apparently I have no integrity, because I can't state what a dream job is.
No, listen to me.
Okay, talk me through it, Key.
You have to do it differently when you're in the coaching circle. You cannot do it publicly. You have to be slick.
But he's not.
Go behind people's back.
You got to backdoor your way.
You got to backdoor. Go meet with the president of the university. It don't tell Patrick Ewing you doing it, but then when you see Patrick, you say, hey, how you doing, man? And then you go meet with the athletic director. And then you start building your staff and sending it via email to them. That's the way coaches, real slick. That's how